Hi there, welcome to a new video from New Formula News. We'll keep you up to date on the latest news about the 2023 GP season. In this video, we'll discuss why alarm bells are currently ringing among Red Bull Racing's competitors. We'll hear from different experts on Max's position, what the risks are for Red Bull, and why Ferrari may take a position in the next GP. But before we start this video, we'd like to ask you to subscribe to our channel. That way, we can continue to bring you videos with the latest Formula news. Done? Let's get started. As you know, Team Red Bull easily won the Bahrain Grand Prix. Former F1 driver Stuck responds, Red Bull was unbeatable in Bahrain, allowing Verstappen to win the race with a considerable lead. However, the numbers from the Grand Prix don't tell the whole story. I'm surprised at how far ahead Red Bull is, says Stuck, especially since I can imagine that Verstappen hasn't shown everything with that lead. That means Red Bull has more up its sleeve, and the competition should take that into account. The alarm bells will definitely go off. With Verstappen, you also have an exceptional driver. For me, Max is the best driver in this field. The German continues. Stuck had hope for Verstappen's teammate. The former driver thinks Perez should accept his role. Before the race, I hoped Perez would get a little closer. Of course, one could argue that he is now the clear number 2. But Max is also an extraordinary personality sensational. According to Stuck, Verstappen is currently the best driver in the best car. The driver has been with Red Bull since 2016, and Stuck is curious about the two-time world champion's adaptability. What would happen if we put Hamilton in the Red Bull and Verstappen in the Mercedes? I'd like to see what happens then. That would be an interesting story, the former Formula One driver said. Joe Ramirez, former team coordinator at McLaren, believes that Max Verstappen has taken on the role of Ayrton Senna in modern Formula One and is therefore poised for a dominant season at Red Bull Racing. Despite his confidence in Verstappen, the 81-year-old Mexican places his hopes on Aston Martin and Fernando Alonso. If the right development path is followed, Ramirez sees Alonso as a challenger for the world title. After the opening race, Mercedes has already thrown in the towel, and Ramirez expects that the Bahrain Grand Prix will be a harbinger for the rest of the season. He says, if they don't have any technical problems or accidents, then yes. They are in a different universe, and now a circuit is coming up where they will fly. Their supremacy will leave us speechless. Moreover, the battle between Max and Checo will benefit them even more. According to Ramirez, it is a good idea to bet on Verstappen for the next world title. That's the safest choice. That guy is very good. He has taken on the role of Ayrton Senna in modern Formula One, and with that car, that team, and Adrian Newey, he is almost unstoppable. Although Perez may be the only competitor for the two-time world champion, he will pose little danger to Verstappen, according to Ramirez, because he lacks the killer instinct that Max has. However, victory for Red Bull Racing is not a certainty. Due to exceeding the budget cap in 2021 and winning the Constructors' title, the team now has to suffer the consequences. The reduced time in the wind tunnel is a sore point for the current leader, but Christian Horner, the team principal of Red Bull Racing, is very positive about how the team is dealing with this. Horner expects that Red Bull may possibly suffer more from this restriction later in the year, and this will have a significant impact on their lead. However, Horner sees the positive side. I think it has made everyone focus and stimulates efficiency, he says. What we lost in wind tunnel time, we gained in motivation. He also emphasizes that it is important, not only to look at the current season, but also at the next season. It's something you have to look at over 12 months because it's not just this year's car, but also next year's car. I think it's really positive for us that we don't have a fundamental problem that eats up resources and time. It was vital for us to be able to deal with that penalty and have a solid starting. According to Christian Horner, the question is how long Red Bull will continue to work on the RB19 due to the imposed penalty. He says, we expect stable regulations, but it's certainly a disadvantage, a handicap. For us, it's all about efficiency and effectiveness in what we apply and choose to test in the tunnel, and how we develop both the RB19 and RB20 cars. Horner hopes that Red Bull can quickly win the title this year so that the team can focus more quickly on 2024. Although Red Bull Racing left competitors Ferrari and Mercedes far behind during the Bahrain Grand Prix, according to Horner, it is still too early to celebrate. He says, we could still be surprised by Ferrari's speed this season. Although Ferrari was not the fastest in Bahrain, the team was faster than Red Bull Racing in the pit stops. Helmut Marko thinks that Ferrari currently has the fastest engine, but he points out that reliability is just as important as speed. Marko says, to finish first, you must first finish. In the 13th lap of the race, Charles Leclerc came in for new hard tires, which the pit crew of the Monegasque team was able to handle in just 2.22 seconds. So, Ferrari reigned in the pit lane, although Red Bull was right behind. Max Verstappen's pit stop in the 14th lap lasted 2.25 seconds. The practice on pit stops has paid off, as Ferrari was also lightning fast in the pit stops after the 13th lap. Carlos Sainz's pit stop in lap 31 took only 2.31 seconds. Mercedes did reasonably well too, with the German team's fastest stop being within 2.40 seconds. Ferrari is leading in at least one championship, as it was the fastest in the pit stops, occupying the first place in the DHL Fastest Pit Stop Awards. We are eagerly waiting to see how Saudi Arabia will shake things up. What are your expectations for Ferrari in the upcoming GP? Let us know in the comments section below this video. Have you already subscribed to our channel? That way, you won't miss any updates. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next news video.